I can't express it enough just how excited I am for Undead Unluck. Like, this trailer is so good. And if you have not seen this trailer, you really should. Like, I'll link it in the description. Please check it out. Because this is going to be such a good anime. Like, honestly, might even be anime of the season. And there is some big series coming out next season, like Eminence and Shadow. But I really do think Undead Unluck has so much potential to really explode in popularity. And I really do think it is a hidden gem in Weekly Shonen Jump as a manga series. And finally, it's getting an anime. And if you have not seen this trailer, oh boy, like, yo, this trailer is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. The backgrounds, everything about it, it looks... that's hilarious. I mean, that speaks for itself. But anyways, Undead Unluck is just legitimately incredible as a series. The manga is amazing. And I have been awaiting this anime for a very long time. And I'm just gonna say right now that I am just really happy to see David Productions cooking with this show. Like, FYI, if you don't know, David Productions is the ones working on Undead Unluck, and David Productions, if you don't know who they are, I'm going to show you, they've worked on quite a few classics over the years. I mean, like, JoJo is a good example. I mean, JoJo is just a huge one. That just stands out on its own. And so, just the fact that David Productions has produced something like JoJo, and they're working on this series, Undead Unluck, another shonen series, they're about to cook something fierce, because this is a good series. And I'm just going to talk about a few things, okay? This trailer basically kind of, like, covers, at least the content within it, covers about the first, I would say, 12 chapters, I would say, yeah, about 10, 12 chapters of the story. That's at least from what I can get from this trailer, and I think that's good. I think it does show that there's potentially some healthy production going on within this, this anime. And on top of that as well, I do want to talk about something that, a lot of people are going to be kind of like talking about when the first episode releases. And that is this character, Fuko, and also Andy, our main male character. Obviously, you've already seen a few shots just from this video alone of how he is presented. Andy is a zombie. He is undead, so to speak. He is someone that has the curse, basically, of just undead. Like, he cannot die. He rips his body apart to be able to use it as weapons. Like, you'll literally see within this trailer as he's, like, fighting, like, he'll use his literal fingers as bullets. Like, he'll have his fingertips shoot off like bullets because he's a zombie. He uses his body literally like just a weapon. And since he's undead, he's able to just continuously fight and have, like, no issue. Like, he could just continuously charge someone. It's a very interesting power and a very interesting main male character. And then you have our main female character, which I already kind of showed an image of her. Her name is Fuko or Unluck. Two different names that could be associated with her. And Fuko is, as a character, a really unique one. I think that she, as a character, at first glance, seems very generic or standard, but when you dive more into her character and, more of the series unfolds, she becomes a very strong character, and a very well-written female character, and I love that. I love what the author of Undead Unluck has done with her as a character. And so when I take a hard look at just the beginning points to the ending points of where the manga is currently at, it's night and day, and it's become just something so incredible. But let's talk about what to expect, okay? Let's temper our expectations down a little bit and talk about how the first episode's probably going to go. I feel like the first episode is going to interest people for a few ways. It's going to introduce the world and the setting and the power system, and people are obviously going to probably like the battles and Andy and all that as a character, just how he's like a zombie, pretty much. It's going to get people definitely enjoying the show. The fancy art animation is definitely going to be a huge boon to what the show has to present. But I think one big fundamental that is going to be the big, I guess, turnaway that people are not going to want to continue watching is definitely going to be the first few episodes. And hear me out on that one. Even if you're an Undead Unluck fan, and I am one, I think everybody could admit that the presentation of the story, at least the early chapters, is very misleading into what to actually expect. It does keep the same themes, but it, like... Okay, I'm just going to downright say it. Andy is very touchy-feely with Fuko as a character, especially early on within the story, and it's definitely an element of the story that a lot of people stop reading the series. Like, a lot of people drop the manga. I remember this was a huge discussion and debate within the community when it first came out. A lot of people stopped reading the series because of that, and it's because it was just like, oh, we're just having this typical, ecchi, feely-grabby type character, and that's about it, and that's what it kind of seemed like at that time. But as the story presented itself and more character development and characterization happened, it grew past that and became its own thing. And in a lot of ways, I feel like maybe the touchy, grabby, Philly stuff probably was just to get a fan base. Because you gotta remember, when you're making a manga in Weekly Shonen Jump, you gotta, catch an audience. You gotta get people on board. You gotta do everything you can to really try to get people to continue reading your series. Because when you write a new manga in Weekly Shonen Jump, you're surrounded by giants. You're surrounded by One Piece, My Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen. And at the time when this was, coming out early on, Chainsaw Man as well. There's a lot of manga that Undead Unluck had to compete with. It was a lot of crazy, dark series, good storytelling, established fan bases, and trying to come into that market, it's very difficult. And so probably there was some editor meddling behind the scenes saying you need to probably have a little bit more ecchi or fan service heavy stuff early on to be able to get an audience. And I think once the series really started to gain popularity, it no longer was that important anymore. It didn't need that element to really keep a fan base because the story was strong enough. And I will say, the story is really good. The world building is really incredible. Like, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to talk too deep about that aspect because that's a huge part of the story. But I will say that I feel like people's expectations of Undead Unluck do need to be tempered to a degree, because I feel like the first episode's going to be the make it or break it for the anime. Like, if people can get past the initial hurdle of that, I feel like the series is going to do very well. And I feel like people that, probably do drop it, and a lot of people do stick with it, they're going to hear about upcoming episodes, they're going to be like, whoa, 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 what? And then they're going to probably dive back into the story. I feel like something like that's probably going to happen for Undead Unluck. I mean, once again, I desperately am saying that it is a good manga. Legit great manga. Probably one of my favorite reads on a weekly basis. I love it. And I hope that this anime does very well, because I really want to see the content just done very well and animated. I want to see some certain scenes animated, because there's just going to be some iconic moments that really hit me in the feels when I was reading. So I'm excited. Honestly, this trailer is really good. The art animation looks great. I don't think that I have any concern on that department. I think that they got the colors, the pizzazz, the quirkiness of Andy and, Fuko proper. I think that everything about this, trailer legitimately makes me even more excited than it already was. We're about to have a really gorgeous anime on our hands. Once again, I am concerned about the initial hurdle that it's going to have to overcome, but if it overcomes that, it's going to be a standout series that's going to blow everyone away. But, yeah, I wanted to briefly talk about this, because the PV trailer is really good, but I also wanted to mention some of the things that are going to be working against it, and I think that, if people can understand that going in, that it's not going to just be that, it's going to really make people just latch onto the series and talk about it. I dare say it's probably going to be one of the most popular series of the upcoming anime season. But I'll leave it at that. I want to talk about it. I wanted to sing the praises of Undead Unluck, and also just get it out there that you should not sleep on this anime, because it will be a banger. It will. If it's done right, it will probably be one of the best of next season. Top 3. Easy. But, okay. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Be safe. Stay healthy. Chibi out.